Tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Uhayawani wa ulimwengu huu wanikera sana mimi. Ninakaza mwendo nifike mbinguni, lakini ninapojaribu kutenda mema mimi najikuta dhambini. Lakini upeo wa macho yetu twauona mji mzuri wa ahadi, kamwe sitayumbishwa na ya dunia hii. Ninakaza mwendo nifike mbinguni, nishike ufalme. Uhayawani wa ulimwengu huu wanikera sana mimi. Ninakaza mwendo nifike mbinguni, lakini ninapojaribu kutenda mema mimi najikuta dhambini. Lakini upeo wa macho yetu twauona mji mzuri wa ahadi, kamwe sitayumbishwa na ya dunia hii. Ninakaza mwendo nifike mbinguni, nishike ufalme. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Enyi wanafiki watu hawa, uniheshimu kwa midomo yao tu, ila mioyo yao iko mbali nami, na waniabudu bure bure bure, wakifundisha mafundisho yaliyo maagizo ya wanadamu. Kila pando asilolipenda Baba yangu wa mbinguni litang'olewa. Mwokozi Yesu anena haya, sikizeni wana wa Mungu leo. Enyi wanafiki watu hawa, uniheshimu kwa midomo yao tu, ila mioyo yao iko mbali nami, na waniabudu bure bure bure, wakifundisha mafundisho yaliyo maagizo ya wanadamu. Kila pando asilolipenda Baba yangu wa mbinguni litang'olewa. Mwokozi Yesu anena haya, sikizeni wana wa Mungu leo. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu akuita kwa upole mwingi. tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu hakuita kwa upole mwingi. Tokeni wana wa nuru, itikieni wito, karibu dunia hii itaangamia yote. Kimbia, tokeni Babeli, mji ulio mkuu umeangamia. Tokeni, duniani itachomwa yote, hasira yake Mungu yaja upesi. Yesu.
Welcome back to Sunday Best, and I hope you've been enjoying the music from Golden Hub KE. And today in studio we have Esther Wangeci, and if you're just joining us, we've had a conversation about mental health and what exactly that means. What are some of the triggers that actually can cause mental health, and where do we find the balance? Because is it something spiritual? Is it something psychological? How can you actually get help? Can you get help from both? And so we went on a break when we were just talking about some of the triggers, and Esther was mentioning some of the triggers that actually affect kids to get to a place where we can say this teenager or this kid is actually suffering from mental health or they are depressed.
Yeah.
And so we can take it from there.
Yes, we were talking about the peer pressure and the need to conform to what is happening. And, you know, so they don't want to be left out. And as young people, they want to be, you know, they are looking at life like it's not marathon, it's a really, we are running fast.
Right.
So with the young people, I would say that one need to be very keen because they are also very secretive and very smart. So you also need to really keep prodding, you know, be interested, be curious.
Yeah.
Actually, be curious to find out. When you see them with the drawing and just wanting to be on their phones alone, just be curious. What's going on?
That's true.
What's going on?
You know, we are at a season where we are learning and teaching parenting.
Yeah.
And a question this past week we asked ourselves, as a parent, and this is a very critical question, will your son or your daughter who is probably a preteen or a teenager come and tell you when they're struggling with pornography? If they come and talk to you, then you have a relationship. Right there. Right there. So
Be friends. Be friends. At times, stop being authoritative. Stop, especially with that age you've said, be a friend. That you can even talk about how your life was in those days. The boys you saw, you know, the kind of boys you liked. You know why? They start thinking, oh, even you like
went
that?
through it.
You dance that kind of music?
Yeah.
Then they start opening up. They start telling you, or you just hear them saying a word, and then as a parent, because you're wise, you realize this antenna, we need to deal with what is happening. But that comes when you're open. Another thing is I would urge parents, be available. You know, it's not easy. You have to work. You have to, you know, to be out there to try and make life for them, but be available.
Right.
Because when you're not available, there's Wi-Fi at home, Anthony. Their gadgets, they can go anywhere. You know?
Hata kama kwako umefunga, kwa jirani atapata.
Atapata.
Rafiki yake ako na simu na iko na wifi na data.
Atapata. In fact, they'll even buy data. You won't even know where they'll get the money from. And they'll get that information. So when you're available, you're able to see the tell signs. You're able to see what is going wrong. You're able to see them when they are withdrawing. They don't want to eat. They don't want to bathe. They just want to be in their rooms. You know? And when you ask, I'm reading a novel or I'm reading a book. No. And then have family values. Have family values. What are we doing together as a family? Dinner, we are doing it together. We have chores in the family. who is washing dishes, who is doing this. Even if there's a house manager, assign your kids some chores.
Right.
Let them be engaged in doing small things. Because one thing also with mental health, there's something with movement. You know, even when you wake up in the morning and Anthony, you just stretch a bit.
Yeah.
Unasikianga umechangamuka, you are alert. You know, the same case with our kids. If we make them to be like Coach Potatoes, that's exactly we are going to see a lot of depression going on.
And that's actually, as I'm listening to you, I can gather and pick that that's from a parent who I would say yako sawa, kona understanding yake. That's why ako in a position to, you know, relate with the kid.
Yeah.
But what about this parent who is now also mentally ill or mentally affected? And is it possible for them to pass on toxic traits to their children?
Yes, yes. Because you see, as I started by giving an example about myself, actually the case I was to give again was one time I woke up and I didn't feel like stepping out of my room. And I stayed in the house and I could feel there was something heavy in my mind. You know, I just sat and I was so down. I was crying and somebody texted me. And you know, I texted that person and I told them, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. He asked me, oh woman of God. What I said, I don't even know whether I qualify for what you're telling me. And the person asked me, are you okay? I didn't respond. Then I'll tell you what happened. You know, it's good to work with the Holy Spirit. I was in the house up to about 5. Very busy, and I could feel like there was this cloud, I don't want to do anything. I was feeling so oppressed. And then when something just told me, put your, you know, the way you get out, remove your head outside. And that breeze just wiped. I just felt something leave. So what am I saying? Because of what you've been through as a parent, you can easily spill over to the children. For instance, if you are abused, if you are divorced, rejected or hurt in marriage, if you do not deal with the pain, if you do not deal with the rejection, because there is pain, there is anger, there is anger, what will you be doing? Even when your child does something small, you spat in anger, you throw in bad words. Why? It is out of the well. Because it is what you is inside you that you are removing. And we normally say in IT, garbage in, garbage out. I need to clean myself. I need to clean myself so that what comes out is love.
True.
It doesn't matter. Now, let me just say, whether my child is on the wrong or not, myself, if I'm spilling out hard things, this child will be depressed. I'm building a small stronghold from my own. I will start building a smaller. So by the time she's my age, she will know how to do it.
And it's growing bit by bit. What you speak. Where uko na nini kama, you know.
Yes.
And they actually get it and they realize, ooh.
But how can people get help if you now realize, okay, Nico, basing myself or whoever is at home, basing themselves on the characteristics that you've mentioned. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to get outside. You're in this state where unataka tu kukua peke yako. Now, where do you start? Where do you get help?
One thing is, there is, let me say, I'm in the house, I don't want to relate with anybody. There has to be a sense of self-awareness. If I'm aware of myself, I'll be able to know this mood.
This is not me.
I was able to detect this is not me. Something is going on. So when you're self-aware, and that's why people are told, be self-aware of who you are, your values, what you represent, and where you come from. So that self-awareness makes you realize this is not me and actually jump out and seek help. So now there's a case whereby this person is not able to even help themselves. And you're my friend. You know, now let me talk about the outsider. If somebody is not, you've not seen your friend, you've not talked to them, and most of the time you'll find even a quickening. You know, a check on Anthony and all that. Please do it. Please do it, because sometimes this person has not eaten. Sometimes this person has been in a dirty house. They bought some chips, they put them there, they've been drinking and all that in the house. And you know, nowadays the setups that we are living in, even you don't know who your neighbor is, which is not even helping at all. You know, you don't know who your neighbor is. So you can also seek a counselor Thank God that Kenya now we are so advanced with counseling.
Right.
You know, you just need, even their numbers you can call and you get help.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment that you realize something has been triggered in me, this is not me.
Right.
Like when thoughts come, as you know, you're feeling suicidal and all that, seek help. Pick your phone, call a friend.
Yeah.
And if a friend is called, please be available.
That's true.
Please be available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, just spiritual authority. You have, if you go to church, it doesn't matter whether you're deep into that church, you're serving, but you have somewhere you usually go, or you know someone, just reach out.
Yeah.
Because there's something actually she said which I felt was very heavy and important, and is actually my takeaway actually in this conversation, is that everyone, no matter who you are in your lifetime, you will need love and hope. If those two things are removed out of the equation, then you will definitely not have any. Why are you living? You don't have hope for tomorrow. You don't have love. You don't feel like there's anybody around you who loves you. So you will not have meaningful life anymore. You will not have the zeal and the will to actually live, and that's what actually leads to suicide. So when you go to church, these are some of the things you find in God. Love is one of the things. Hope, you actually find hope in church. So I agree
Very
with
important.
you.
Before we allow you just to give us your parting shot, there's another element of grief that I think is very key. It's within the African context, the African culture, that when you've gone through something, wacha kulia, wacha kulia. And you know, grief comes to the smallest aspects of our life. That I lost my phone. You're actually going through a moment of grief. So to allow Pia to go through that period, and if you know someone who is going through that period, walk with them. A friend of ours lost a dog the other day. That child grieved like they had lost everything in this life. So you see, as a parent, if you tell them, ni umbwa tu, tutanunua ingine. That child actually develops something, stress, which some probably will get into depression. If they don't know how to deal with it, it really messes them up as well, all right?
And crying helps. Crying helps.
At
times, even when we go before God, we break in crying. And it's a way of healing. You know, it's therapeutic. It's
wanaume walie pia.
Let us cry.
Unakuanga roho ngumu.
Yes, it's very therapeutic. But allow me to say this, that there are many ways we can deal with mental health. Actually, that I myself, I like using myself. I've applied and I've seen, even when I know this is coming, I know what to do. I know the solution. One is prayer. You know, when you pray, there's nothing that you cannot get out of prayer. As you're praying, actually, in coaching, we talk of practice mindfulness and prayer. You know, as you're praying, as you're present,
you're releasing.
You're releasing, you're talking. Another thing is journaling. Journaling. Journal what is going on in your mind. Get an exercise book or a notebook, and every day journal. Walk with it. Journal, be it your dreams, whatever it is, journal. Write. That's why we are told write. Keep writing. Keep writing. We only know about writing the vision, but it's a way of removing what is in you and how you're feeling. Because nowadays we are not very relational. And then another thing to deal with mental health is have good relationships. Build good network. You know, this is a network that knows, when I call Charity, the way she has talked, she has told me she's okay. But after 2 minutes, I'll now call you and change the story. And also be available. Don't stay in the house. Step out, be relational.
That's right.
Exercise.
Lovely.
Wow.
Exercise.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, Esther. Very powerful. And I hope that you have learned something out of that, right?
For me, it's just, I know we bring people like you on this show so that also people at home can get help. So how can people reach out to you?
On Facebook, you can get me as Esther Wangeci. That is mostly where I am. That is basically my place of ministry a lot on Facebook, Esther Wangeci.
All right. Great. All right, so God bless you. Reach out to her. You will definitely find her, and you will find even someone to talk to. It will be a great thing, all right? So In a bit we'll be having unajua tulikuwa tumezoea kumuita Ekodida, siku hizi ni mheshimiwa.
Wacha.
Yeah. Mheshimiwa ako pale kwenye county assembly.
We can't wait.
Atakuwa pamoja nasi, and of course for tutamuita tu Julia ama tuita Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
All right, so we'll be having Ekodida and Julia joining us later on in the summit segment. They have something new they've done together. Don't miss out. I'll see you.
Hezekia alipashwa habari za tisho naye mfalme wa Ashuru, ila hakuenda vitani bali hekaluni na kusali. Kwa sababu hiyo changamoto zinazotukumba zafaa mkono wa Bwana, ili atupe nguvu na ujasiri wa kuzipitia mtumaini Bwana. Changamoto zinazotukumba zafaa mkono wa Bwana, ili atupe nguvu na ujasiri wa kuzipitia mtumaini Bwana. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani, kwa nguvu zetu hatuwezi, bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu atatupasulia miamba iliyoko mbele yetu, ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja naye Bwana upate faraja. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani, kwa nguvu zetu hatuwezi, bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu atatupasulia miamba iliyoko mbele yetu, ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja naye Bwana upate faraja. Leta barua yako miguuni pake Yesu, bila kuogopa kilichomo ndani. Toa shukurani kwa unayoyapitia, maana Bwana ajua sababu ya matukio hayo yote. Wewe omba, amini, na kwa yote atakushindia uwe huru. Leta barua yako miguuni pake Yesu, bila kuogopa kilichomo ndani. Toa shukurani kwa unayoyapitia, maana Bwana ajua sababu ya matukio hayo yote. Wewe omba, amini, na kwa yote atakushindia uwe huru. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani, kwa nguvu zetu hatuwezi, bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu atatupasulia miamba iliyoko mbele yetu, ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja naye Bwana upate faraja. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani, kwa nguvu zetu hatuwezi, bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu atatupasulia miamba iliyoko mbele yetu, ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja naye Bwana upate faraja. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani, kwa nguvu zetu hatuwezi, bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu atatupasulia miamba iliyoko yuko mbele yetu ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja nawe Bwana upate faraja. Mtegemee Bwana akuongoze vitani kwa nguvu zetu. Hatuwezi bali kwa mkono wake ulio na nguvu. Atatupasulia miamba iliyoko mbele yetu ili tushinde vita hivi. Tembea pamoja nawe Bwana upate faraja.